rankings, with O'Sullivan edging the head-to-heads 9-8. Judd Trump did beat the Rocket in the quarterfinals here last year and went on to lift the trophy. It's always a big occasion when these two meet. Who will have the edge tonight? Guiding us through the opening stages of this match, Alan McManus is alongside Phil Yates in the commentary box. But first, to introduce the players, our MC, John McDonald.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to the venue, Cymru! Yes, we're coming to you from the magnificent town of Llandudno, where this is the semi-final of the Ladbrokes Players' Championship, brought to you by World Snooker, live on ITV Sport. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our referee, Colin Humphreys, is ready to go. It's time for us now to welcome the players. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of 8 ranking events. Here's the reigning and defending Players' Champion, the ace in the pack, Judd Trump! And now, ladies and gentlemen, here he is, the winner of 32 ranking events, the 5-time champion of the world, the Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan!
Later this year, Venue Cymru will host one of the world's most famous Elvis impersonators. It will also host a Beatles tribute band. But this is the real thing. So let's rock.
Thank you. Thank you, the first frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Oh, there's a statement of intent. First shot, no holding back. Just about stopped in time. Normally when the cue ball's on that line playing the green, the in-off's close to the left middle. You have to jack the cue up playing this. Playing ball.
Judd Trump, 1.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, was it? Not the sort of shot you want to be faced with first up.
Well, the only solace for Trump there, positionally, it wasn't the best. Is O'Sullivan taking on this plant? There's an awful lot of distance between the two reds involved. Yeah.
What?
Now, I'm not saying that this is a certainty, but no one has been better at this recovery blue to a baulk pocket over the years than O'Sullivan.
Six.
Yeah, but disappointed. Just overscrewed there by 4 or 5 inches. The fact that you can play it left-handed, that shot in the red that he would have been on. Disappointed with that, Ronnie.
perhaps just a sign of having a new cloth on the bed here.
Ronnie
Bed and
O'Sullivan,
the cushions
6.
actually. Just that wee bit more responsive. He got another 3 or 4 inches screw out of it. Now I said Judd, he's a funky style of game. This is risky. Normally very reliable at that type of shot, even although they are risky.
One. Six.
Well, we saw a maestro with the rest this afternoon, Sean Murphy. O'Sullivan's no slouch.
Yeah, it's quite important the angle he leaves himself in this yellow, because the reds are somewhat covering one another.
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan 6. Judd Trump 4.
Yeah, good spot by the ref.
Yes, Colin Humphreys, our referee this evening, was well positioned there. No argument whatsoever from O'Sullivan. Well, with a sizable break there, Trump could have inflicted early damage.
Yeah, I think he probably missed it because he was sort of hanging over the cluster of reds. He couldn't get down and comfy on it. A chance passed up now. Sullivan, if he wants to be aggressive, he'll be playing this with drag. Kill the pace of the cue ball. There you go, kill the pace, but that was wide.
Tentative early salvos.
One.
At that pace, a much better shot than it looked. Tremendous from Trump. Who's going to get off and running first?
Eight. Judd Trump 8.
Yeah, Ronnie knows that playing those kind of shots, he has to get the cue ball within a few inches of the baulk cushion. Against most players, you think, well, he'll maybe miss this long red, but not so with Judd. Very difficult bridging as well with the green for a lefty. And you see, clean as a whistle. Pots awkward balls better than anyone else in the game, there's no doubt about it. That is again
8. 9.
You made a really good point, Alan, in the preamble about the fact that
16.
Judd Trump over the years has stood up to O'Sullivan on a big occasion more than once.
17.
In fact, he's beaten him in 3 finals. World Grand Prix 10-7 2015, European Masters 2016, that was in Bulgaria.
24.
Should I say Romania, to be absolutely
25.
accurate. But I think the most stunning performance from Trump against O'Sullivan was in Antwerp, Belgium in 2011. It was a small event, but Trump beat O'Sullivan 4-3 in a final that will live long in the memory.
30.
It was absolutely electric stuff, and if tonight is a repeat of that,
31.
hang on to your seats.
The other thing for me is his demeanour. When he's playing against O'Sullivan, you wouldn't know he's playing Ronnie. Just breezing round the table, knocking balls in. Not remotely interested who his opponent is.
39.
So very quickly,
46.
Trump accumulates 46. Make that 47.
47.
He's on the threshold of drawing first blood.
$52. 53.
I actually believe that Judd's taken this game to new levels as far as the time that he takes to play a shot. He's lobbing along
60.
here at 13 seconds a shot already. He's been doing that all week.
61.
And he's definitely made a conscious decision in amongst the balls to play as quickly in a match as he does in practice. In Romania last week, in the Romanian Masters, he beat Luca Bracel 4-0 in the first round, and it took 37 minutes. Average shot time, 12 seconds. No messing
69.
around.
Yeah, it's not like he's
74.
part of a new breed. He is the new breed. And that's that side of the game, the speed he's playing. Brilliant stuff.
Judd Trump 74. And a third.
Yes, the run of 74, more than sufficient. O'Sullivan had a couple of early chances, but in the end it was Trump who's taken a...
Frame 2. Judd Trump to break.
Another packed crowd here at Venue Cymru on the promenade in Llandudno, North Wales. It's the first semi-final of the Ladbrokes Players' Championship of 2018, and the first frame has fallen to Judd Trump. This is the 4th time these two have met in a semi-final of a professional competition. In their 3 previous semi-finals, it's O'Sullivan who's built a 100% record, but you can't escape the impression he's got his hands full tonight.
Yeah, and once again, if he's going to play the return to baulk, remember what happened in frame 1. Dropping short of the baulk cushion. No, that's very good. Excellent length. Massive difference in a safety shot being 5 or 6 inches from the baulk cushion and 12 inches. He's pulling the trigger again though. Yeah, not as easy from there. Has he gotten away with it?
Well, Trump was a little fortunate not to leave an easier red than this. But I suppose it's a return of compliment.
Yeah. You can maybe play this to the far left corner of the red. You've got a choice of reds actually, but I would favour the one to the yellow pocket, topping it through for blue. This is awkward cueing this one. He's just playing a safety. Clever shot actually. Guaranteed not to leave one.
Now, Sullivan's tactical play against Graham Dott in the first round was relentlessly excellent, and I think he needs something similar this evening. If he does produce that kind of tight snooker, he's going to get his chances.
Yeah, he's not covered the red to left middle. Ronnie will play it, providing he's not going to cannon the red above it. Interesting. Very interesting. Deciding to bide his time again. Perhaps though he felt in going for the pot he was going to cannon the other red. Well, that's what I mean about potting awkward balls.
What?
No other player in the game would have taken that red on, I don't believe. Here's another one.
Your trump? One.
Yeah, just the fact that sorry Phil, he just missed it thick, didn't he? So the cue ball didn't travel as intended.
Sullivan just struggling to get his hand on the table to get a really good opportunity.
a spot of trouble here, taking his time with good reason. There's no return to baulk, obviously. The three reds in a triangle, just... No. He's got the angle here. No, this is difficult. He can contact the cushion and get this red, but has to get it around half ball and pretty much dead weight. Is he playing it thin with pace? Oh, what a shot. What a shot. It wasn't exactly as intended, but he gave himself a chance of getting safe. Well worked out, Judd Trump. Not a shot you see very often. The key to it was he gave himself every chance of getting safe. You wouldn't normally put Judd down as one of the most creative players in the safety department, that is. But that's what that last safety shot was.
He understands the geometry of a table, though, doesn't he? You only need to see that when he's laying snookers at the end of a frame. He's very creative in that regard.
Yeah, the red nearest the pocket, I think he can get through to that. But if he's going to hold for probably baulk colour, this will have to be sweet. Well, getting the red, don't know if that was intended. Black is on. This is a big shot. This is nasty under any circumstances.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, what?
Cross table, those shots, as Alan said, are really testing.
What? Six. 7.
In this day and age, against this level of opposition, successfully retaining a world
14.
ranking title is a very difficult proposition. But Trump did it earlier this season, winning the European Masters for the second consecutive year in Belgium.
15.
And that's his goal here this weekend. Defend this title as well.
That was a beautiful shot. To hold that, could not have struck the cue ball better there.
26.
Black a wee bit out of commission, side of the table he's on, so he'll have to get creative if he's going to score here. Green's not in a good position for him. Maybe playing a cannon on the red here. The red next to the green, brilliant shot. That is a brilliant
23.
shot. I said about getting creative. How's about that then?
Ideally would have liked to have removed the green, but he was so straight on it. Very limited options.
30.
So that will have to wait.
31.
Another awkward black. Not a problem.
38. $39.
In the official programme for this tournament, there's a really good piece on Judd Trump.
Green ball.
In which one of his friends and regular practice partners, Matt Selt, waxes lyrical about just how well he plays in practice, and apparently it's off the charts
42.
what he does, century after century, hardly missing a ball for days on end.
You know, one of the most extraordinary things I think about Judd, you watch
43.
his bridge hand here, how close his middle finger is to the cue ball. It can't only be 4 or 5 inches at the most, and the power he generates is unbelievable. Look at that. There's the power. Amazing. And boys and girls,
48.
it's not just technique, it's called talent. That's what it is.
$49.
Yeah, disappointed with that. He was stretching. Is he going to go a bit of match play savvy here and park the black on the side cushion? No, he's being aggressive.
Judd Trump, 49.
Well, the lead is 49, and there's a cluster of 3 reds close to the right-hand side cushion as we're looking at the table. But O'Sullivan is such a past master at making extraordinary clearances, no one's writing that off.
Yeah, we know about Judd, how aggressive he wants to be. I mean, he could easily have just pushed the black onto the side cushion there, and where the pink is as well, he'd be strong favourite. He's given Ronnie a sniff. And we know what his history's like when it comes to larceny. He is an absolute burglar, this guy. Talk about reactions, he just picked his chalk up just in time. No, sir.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 8.
Not really at the races yet. Now then, the table is much more amenable than it was a couple of minutes ago. Only the pink is an obvious stumbling block. But you got to pot them. Missing a lot.
One. Eight.
49 in front, 51 on, so this red required.
9. Judge Trump 9 and a frame.
O'Sullivan concedes. Not a frame that will make the highlight reel, but that won't concern Judd Trump in the slightest. And the reason for that, with O'Sullivan missing plenty of balls, it's Trump who's taken a 2-0 lead in this race to 6.
Thank you. Frame 3, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
It's a pleasing start for Judd Trump, of that there is absolutely no doubt. But don't fall into the assumption that O'Sullivan can't fight back. Of course he can. In the quarterfinals, let's not forget, he was 2-0 down and 40-0 down in the third frame against Ding Junhui, who then missed a pink to middle. O'Sullivan salvaged that frame and went from strength to strength. Still, Alan, early days.
Yeah, Ronnie won't be massively concerned just yet. I mean, he knows that the chips fall in the right place for him. He can reel off 2, 3, 4 frames in the blink of an eye.
Touch and ball.
Only other thing about that, he's not playing Ding tonight, he's playing the juggernaut who just keeps coming at you. Short cue ball, loose red in the open. It disappears.
What?
Now, can he get enough bottom in this cue ball? It's a thin brown. Can he get deep enough in this to attack the bunch? Yeah, jacking up. Watch the cue ball. No, he took his eye off the pot.
Judge Trump 1.
It's probably a wee bit thinner than it looked from our vantage point.
One.
More like it from O'Sullivan, really well cued. But subtly, he's not having the best of fortune, is he, so far? Things not quite clicking into place yet.
Yeah, just the blue was sort of blocking the path to the bunch there, and he's going to be blocked off again by the brown, in fact. Still see the left edge maybe, but probably just nestle into the edge of them.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 5.
This is the third time they've played this season. O'Sullivan's won both of their previous meetings during this campaign. 6-5 semi-final of the Hong Kong Masters at the vast Queen Elizabeth Stadium in front of 3,000 people
cracking match that was. He led 3-0, trailed 5-4, made a 1-2-6 in the 10th frame, and then snatched the decider on the black. And their other meeting, that was the final of the Shanghai Masters. O'Sullivan winning that one 10-3. As Trump again shows his aggressive side.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. That's twice tonight he's played a funky, creative kind of safety shot. He's definitely got Ronnie thinking tonight. Yeah, nice kiss in the green, but you'd have been pleased to see the black contact that red, the red that Judd's just had a look at. If he gets anywhere close to the pot playing this, he should avoid the pack. And what he hopes a return to baulk. Middle pocket might come into play as well here.
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
Angle strikes again.
Yeah, it just looked on, didn't it? If you get anywhere close to it, it was always in play. Unlucky, actually. Now, tester for Ronnie. Stroked a nice shot into this pocket a few shots ago. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful shot. Never loses the smoothness in his action.
Eight. Nine.
We should really expect a cavalcade of sizable breaks this evening. O'Sullivan's made 67 centuries this season, the most of anyone. Second on the list, Trump with 61.
$15. $16. $23. 24.
You see the difference in Ronnie's style, don't we? Longer bridge
31.
there. Kind of more strokes
32.
at the ball, doesn't he?
$39. $40.
This is a little tester. That was a tester.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 40.
And pure and simply because the pressure he's under from his opponent. Wasn't a sitter, that. It's never easy. Half blind pocket now. Judd double to nothing. He's playing it. I wonder if Ronnie might spot this little plant to left middle. Now he's having a look at it. It might be worth playing because he can play the cue ball back to where it is just now, roughly. Only Redican leaves the one he's trying to pot. Nailed it.
Well, the second bite of the cherry really should be the decisive visit of the frame.
Eight. Nine.
He doesn't know whether the brown goes because he's not had a look. I assume it probably does. Yeah, just.
One more red to make absolutely sure.
13. 14.
Well, he's not done it cleanly, O'Sullivan, but he's done it, and that's the main thing.
18. 19.
Got a foothold now.
Yeah, two brilliant reds, long reds, but the one that set up the first contribution was a stunner. He'll feel much more at ease.
26. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 26 on a frame.
A one-sided frame by the look of the scoreboard, but that tells a deceptive tale, really. Anyway, O'Sullivan's won it, and that means he's on the board. Judd Trump, though, still in front. Now at 2.
For Judd Trump to break.
The good folk in its venue, Cymru, are being entertained as we anticipated by this cracking semi-final in the Ladbrokes Players' Championship between Judd Trump and Ronnie O'Sullivan. 2-1 it is to Trump. Not been mistake-free, though. You've only got to see the pot success rate to understand that. Both of them at the moment below 80%. That will improve, guaranteed.
Almost play a cannon on the brown playing this. Oh, he's got it thinner than that. He went for yellow. A lot of players would have aiming for brown. Perhaps he did because he got it really thin. I always think that type of shot, try and cannon the brown, miss it either side, you've got a chance of finding some cover. Fascinating battle going on out there. Does this red pass? Yeah, I think it did. He's taking a red on here. Yeah. So all of a sudden, just one or two little mistakes from Judd.
For a split second, O'Sullivan was worried there he'd overrun the cue ball, but it stopped in time. No sweat.
Eight.
He's in no mood for hanging around, is he?
9.
Beautiful little touch there, just to land just off a straight in this red.
16.
You see it.
17.
Back's no good, Tim. Not the right shape. I'm gonna settle for. Should be a
24.
comfortable red. But not a sitter. Yeah,
25.
starting to find his cueing now, isn't he? Yeah, again, avoiding the pack because the shape of them's not conducive to getting through them and onto a red.
32.
So he's having to work for this here, is Ronnie. Yeah, not tracking a low black here, I wouldn't think.
33.
He is low on it. Maybe a glancing blow, but he won't be going deep screw into them. He's having a look. I don't think he really fancies it. Let's see. Yeah. Deep screw. There's never guaranteed. He's on one, but it's again not a sitter.
40.
Now he's missed a couple of pots of similar ilk to this already. Not this time.
41.
Yeah, finding his cueing, as I was saying, and just brushing balls in now. He slips into gear. A sight to behold.
Now I'm just mentioning 6 reds, 6 blacks.
48. $49.
You rotter. I thought we made a pact to talk about these things, but yeah. He's done it before many times, but yeah, let's try and get the frame one first from Ronnie's perspective here. He's definitely played high on the red, mind you. He's got it on his mind, I would say. Call Phil.
56.
Well, there's big financial incentive because of a large rollover on the 147, so maybe worth pursuing.
$57.
Forget the bonus. Winning the frame's more important. It's an academic point now, but it's a £30,000 147 rollover plus the £5,000 highest break price. But getting back to 2-2 at the interval, priceless.
62.
Yeah, blink of an eye almost, isn't it? What's he been going? 4 minutes.
63.
The high break, by the way, currently held by Mark Williams with
70.
141. So that's in
71.
O'Sullivan's sights.
$78. 79.
Chance to see the O'Sullivan technique here, the longer backswing.
86.
Judd, a
87.
little bit closer into the cue ball, isn't he, on delivery? Look at the O'Sullivan backswing. all the way back.
This break, 5
94.
minutes and 30 seconds, 10 seconds
95.
longer than when he made the 147 at the Crucible. And this has been rapido.
103. 109. 110.
'What a star.
116. 118.
Forget records, forget stats. He's one of a kind. We'll never see his kind again.
121. 125. 130.
The countdown took a while, but now the afterburners are on, and the rocket really has left the launch pad. 143. It could be worth a £5,000 bonus. More importantly for O'Sullivan, in supreme style, he's back on level terms. It is 2-2.
Our semi-finalist, Judd Trump and Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Judd Trump and Ronnie O'Sullivan resume at 2-all. Trump, the defending Players' Championship champion.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
O'Sullivan trying to complete ITV's Spring Snooker double, having won the World Grand Prix at Preston a few years ago on this channel. O'Sullivan, for the last few years, has invariably been breaking off left-handed, but this week he seems to be alternating between left and right-handed. I'm at a loss for any explanation. O'Sullivan made a shaky start this evening. I particularly noticed that he overcut 3 reds to the same middle pocket in the first 2 frames, both of which he lost. But he won the 3rd frame quite handily and then slipped into overdrive. With that 1-4-3 total clearance.
Yes, I would agree with that summary of the first 4 frames. Not dissimilar to what happened against Ding Junhui the other night. He started slowly, but he finished very strongly in that match. And I think that 1-4-3 break, it might earn him £5,000, but it will certainly restore his confidence, which, like you say, had been lacking. I felt he had 1 or 2 slightly awkward shots, but he tended to miss them all in those opening 2.5 frames.
And he prioritised making sure of winning the frame over pursuing a maximum.
Well, that was always going to be a tough shot because the pink was so far ahead of the bunch that he had to force the pink onto the reds.
14.
And as good as he is, it was beyond him.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
Safety
14.
didn't really play much of a part in those first 4 frames. But I think that Ronnie is mindful that Judd at long range is extremely dangerous. So more of this, I think, will be the order of the day.
Foul on this. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
Ronnie might not have that put back. Clearly Judd will do better second time around. He might be able to get into more trouble though. Blocked off everything. Certainly the right side of the bunch. Maybe just the left he can get to actually from when we're commentating. Got a feeling he can.
Foul. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4.
Too thick, but hasn't left anything easy for O'Sullivan.
There are occasions when in-off can be the best place for the cue ball actually. Only time will tell whether this is one of those. Better than rattling in the jaws and going into the bunch a second time, leaving everything. In fact, there was a time, I've known players from maybe 20, 30 years ago deliberately going in off. I don't think that was the case there.
There was nothing worth going for there. Everything, a combination of too difficult, too risky.
I think Ronnie will see it as a failure though, Clive, to hit a bolt colour on the way back. He prides himself on coming in at the right angle and behind those.
Well, that also was risky and difficult, and Trump can congratulate himself that he hasn't left O'Sullivan anything easy.
Yeah, balls flying around everywhere. That's a good shot underneath that cushion rail. Means he can't really screw back to where he is now very easily. He can't get low enough on the cue ball. I think you can see his problem. He's hard up against the rail. Also, of course, red's up the table. He could leave a clear shot out. This isn't very nice. Even rolling into the side of the bunch. Red up into the yellow pocket is a possibility. Not too many shots Judd has to look at for over a minute. Well, he probably thought a pot was his best option, but I think the red goes through the gap.
What?
Shouldn't be underestimated how good that last shot of Ronnie's was, actually. It looked fairly innocuous, but Judd was in big trouble there.
Three. Four.
This is the sort of chance that
9.
O'Sullivan usually exploits heavily.
10.
Managed to widen, fairly
17.
straightish looking shot on the black there, getting an angle, taking it out the table. He's in a
18.
roll. Well, a serious good run in that fourth frame. It's a lovely 1-4-3. You don't get too many bad breaks of that amount anyway, but he probably would have liked to have continued.
The interval doesn't seem to have made any difference to him, though.
25.
He's still in that vein of form.
26.
It's the kind of form, Clive, that he's been in for most of the season, isn't it? Quite amazing how he's been playing. He really works hard and looks after himself.
Yes, he attends to every aspect of his life. He's got very interested in diet lately.
33.
He said recently that changing his diet
34.
slightly seems to have given him more energy. This morning, as with other mornings, he's been off for a run round the Great Orme, one of the great landmarks here.
Just a bit thinner on this than you would like, as you can see. That really does demonstrate. But he's played it beautifully, and that was the kind of shot in the first 2 or 3 frames
41.
that he was missing. Played that well.
42.
Judged the cannon perfectly off the second red.
Yes, and also that first red passes the other two, goes through the gap.
49. $50.
Yeah, I guess we assumed he was going to play at this level from the start, but he didn't. Make no mistake,
55.
he's at the top of his game now. It just took him longer than usual.
56.
And he's going to be 3-2 up at the end of this frame. $303 points without reply.
63.
With more to come.
64.
In fact, he holds the record of points without reply. 556 against Ricky Walden in the Masters a couple of years ago.
71.
Uncharacteristically bad cannon that he's got to play a recovery shot from.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 71, and the frame.
We'll have to wait till his next century, but the 71 break puts him ahead for the first time this evening at 3-2. In the last 3
Thank you,
frames,
frame 6. Judd Trump to break.
Ronnie O'Sullivan has been up and away. Can Judd Trump bring him back to earth? If O'Sullivan could carry away the title this week, it would be his 5th ranking title of the season. And only Stephen Hendry Mark Selby and Ding Junhui have ever won 5 in a single campaign before. Not good for length on Trump's safety, but nothing easy for O'Sullivan. Nothing worth risking, in fact.
Ronnie looking at this long red. The question is, does he need to really take these sort of shots on? Because his safety being as good as it is, he tends to get a lot of chances come his way anyway. Bit short, but still a good area in the table to leave the cue ball. Quite congested on that right side. Judd might look at the red along the cushion. The right hand red. It's not much fun. At the moment, Judd is being made to think about every safety shot that he's faced with.
Foul.
Well, that was simply
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 7.
a screw back to the baulk cushion using the bunch as a stopper, but the black drops in.
Yeah, he's unlucky not the black in, actually. It wasn't a bad shot. But with the red up there, I think Ronnie surely will put him in again from there. I think it's got to be Judd's problem. That's what he's saying.
"34 minutes and odd of playing time since Trump potted a ball."
Problem he's got here, the red coming down the table means he can't even play a safety shot to bulk. I can see him playing a Judd Trump special here. This red down the cushion, I don't see what else he can play. He's probably got to go for a pot of some description. He's going for a pot. If it doesn't go in, he's leaving possibly everything. Well, he taps the table, but he didn't hit the ball on the way back. I don't think it was exactly what he played.
Not too bad an outcome, though, from Trump's point of view. That was not an easy shot. And that's the fourth time on that sort of middle pocket pot that O'Sullivan has marginally overcut it this evening.
One. Yeah.
So Trump, having looked in all sorts of bother only a couple of minutes ago, has the first clear-cut chance in this sixth frame.
Yes, and the chance you feel that he really has to make count.
6. 7. 12. 13.
No reason why you shouldn't make a lot from this. There's really nothing particularly difficult about this opportunity except the fact that he's been sitting out and watching O'Sullivan top balls for 3 frames.
20. 21. 28. 29.
Trump is fluent and fearless, and in many ways he's O'Sullivan's natural heir, but not just yet.
$34. 35. 42. 43.
'Reached the half century in 3 minutes 7 seconds.
50.
Not such a good shot though. He's on 2 reds, neither of which are particularly easy. This one is an awkward stretch. Nice recovery.
51. 56. 57.
'O'Sullivan's failed red to right middle. Not an easy one. Gave Trump this chance.
63.
And he's taken it very nicely.
64. 70.
Yes, he's got to pay count attention to this shot, even though he should get it, but it is frame ball. And it's in. It's okay. This match is really building up into the match I believe most people thought it would be from the outset. Often the case that they start a little bit nervy, these sort of matches, with all the expectation, but now they're playing as we thought they might.
78. 79. 85. 86.
'Awkward shot for Trump because he'd have to play it right-handed.
93.
And made it look easy, and he finished top side as well. Century very much on the cards now. Very good. Just the sort of break he needed.
101. 102.
Oh, the black and the yellow in this break are going to be great shots.
Twice round the table. That was the idea anyway.
109. Foul. Judge from 109. Ronnie O'Sullivan for frame.
The cue ball leaves the table and Trump leaves the table, having made 108 to level the match at 3-all.
Thank you. Frame 7. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Level with 5 to play then. Back to left-handed for breaking off. But a very poor break.
Foul. Judd Trump 4.
Hit the end red much too
Thank
thin.
you.
And from the baulk line, Trump won't be refusing this.
One.
Half ball at distance, but from the baulk line, Trump would consider himself favourite to pot that about 9 out of 10.
Yeah, and the green offers him a chance to break the bunch. Brown have to force it back for the loose red, I think. That's a great shot to finish on that red the way that he has. That's terrific. But the bunch will need to be open soon. So on the black, presumably, really get into them.
Six.
Right hand red in the bunch, I think, will split them nicely with a bit of stun. Not too much screw in and out. And he did screw it a bit too much. Came away from the reds.
13.
I'll pot this to the middle. It'll be a good recovery shot. Oh, that's superb.
14. 17. 18. 25.
That's also a very good positional shot from Trump. And looking at what's in the bunch, of course, the couple of loose reds, the one at the bottom might also be potable. Bottom of the bunch of 8. Plenty of options here. And from O'Sullivan doing all the potting and scoring, that run of over 300 points unanswered, all of a sudden has turned the other way.
32. $39.
I think he might have been looking at whether those two balls were a plant. Again, he doesn't need to worry at this stage. There is a loose red, but they're very close. Which means he wouldn't necessarily want to go into them. He's having another look. And I think it's just to the right jaw. He could possibly turn it into one. And he still played into the bunch. That's okay though.
47.
Well, that was a big surprise. A straightforward red to middle.
Yes, and these can be dangerous frames. You get 50 points in front, but you leave maybe more than 50 in return, maybe the lot. Immediately look at the red up the table close by to the yellow as the possible saving grace.
One.
These are pivotal frames. Frames that you could lose, that you should have won.
Six. 7.
Making big clearances from behind is one of the abilities which separates the very best players from the rest.
$14.
This is a key juncture. This frame decides who leads 4-3.
Yes, Ronnie taking these 3 open reds with high value colours means that
22.
not only he would need that safe red, but Trump would probably need it as well.
23. $28. $29.
Well, I think it's a left-handed shot at the yellow now, perhaps. Not an easy shot, this.
Foul.
Just got into it a little bit too much.
Judd Trump.
I'd be surprised if he plays the left red, because he doesn't really want it in the middle of the table. He could win the frame by taking the other 2 reds at some point. That's the only ball that makes it a difficult clearance. Yeah, I'm not surprised he's refusing it. It's the easiest way to get it safe. Certainly get the cue ball safe by playing off that red. Trouble is, if he plays a safety shot up and back into baulk, then Ronnie will just play off that one anyway. I guess which amounts to the same thing. So now Ronnie can just move the red. So that was a dilemma.
Needs to get behind a ball colour and hasn't done so.
Well, maybe it's not over. Didn't pot it cleanly, I guess. That's why he cannoned into the red. It could do with getting a colour on the cushion, maybe the green to the right side cushion rail, anything to make it a difficult table.
Green ball. For Trump, 1.
Well, I don't think it would have been fatal even if the cue ball had dropped, but it's very awkward for Trump.
Yeah, one nasty play here. I don't know, he might even be able to cut this red to the left middle. But from the jaws of the pocket, pretty horrible shot to be faced with. May not be trying that. I couldn't blame him if he wasn't.
O'Sullivan's the trailing player, so it was in his interest to develop the green, but not if he's left that red in a position in which Trump can pot it.
Maybe a cushion first. Yeah, he had no great control over the reds, that was the problem. So cushion first.
One.
He's framed those lingering on, he's not put it away yet even.
Well, it may be that the yellow is the only possible colour.
Yeah, and if it is, yellow to the last red is a very difficult shot. Again, I think you should be looking to get some insurance here. Put something on a cushion again. I think he's got a guaranteed snooker. He hits the yellow full ball behind the pink or brown or both, but even then you think that Ronnie would escape from that. This pot is difficult, especially to get near the red after it.
Yellow ball.
So I think he's playing the snooker, and rightly so.
Judd Trump, 1.
Almost doubled the yellow by mistake. And perhaps didn't play as damaging a safety as perhaps he might have done. But that's the winning shot in terms of leaving O'Sullivan needing a snooker.
Three.
31 in it, only 27 left.
Five.
And that yellow makes ultra sure of the frame.
8. 12.
So O'Sullivan had a great spell going from 2-0 down to 3-2 up. But Trump equalised with a break of 109.
17.
And he's also won this comparatively tight frame to regain the lead.
23 in the frame. Judd Trump.
Judd Trump is within 2 frames of victory. He leads Ronnie O'Sullivan by 4 frames to 3.
Thank you. Frame 8. Judd Trump to break.
Trump 4-3 up, having been 3-2 down.
Just a little smattering of applause, but of course only got there because of the little nudge on the yellow. I think Ronnie's safety, if he can get it back to where it was in the match with Graham Dott, then he would still get chances here. Judd will offer him chances. It's a good shot though in return. Just call that a little thin. Certainly would have played in behind yellow and brown.
can't afford to leave Trump those sort of long pots just from the baulk line.
Four. Five.
I don't think Trump's going to have any inhibitions about beating O'Sullivan if he gets the chance. He's always considered himself, as have many others, a future world #1 and world champion. He's not quite a superstar yet, but getting that way.
He's played a bad one there. He will be relieved that he's on the red, because he saw his expression. I think he believes he'd snookered himself. No, I think
11.
you're right. He's certainly a player that, well, his record tells you he can beat him. He has beaten Ronnie O'Sullivan a number of times. There are certain players you feel that man has got them in the head a little bit, and they've got a sort of mental barrier to pass. I don't believe that Judd is in that position. I think what he has done, Clive, he struggled at coming up against an underdog in matches when he's, you know, all the expectation is on him. And playing O'Sullivan, of course, it's roles
16.
reversed. That might help him.
Yes, Trump hasn't done all that well on the circuit since Christmas, but it could be that he's coming into form just at the right time. Not only for this tournament, but for the
17.
China Open and the World Championship.
Well, he won't be playing in the China Open. He got beaten, didn't he? So he's got a nice run up to the Worlds.
Yes, he lost to Jack Jones of Wales. I was forgetting that.
Shots up.
But by missing that black, Trump passes the initiative to O'Sullivan. Nothing difficult about it.
Yeah, I was surprised, like you, about that. He missed that one.
One.
That little nudge on the blue is the worst thing that could have happened on that shot. He would have been slid past it top side. He could have got anywhere he wanted on the next red. That option's not open to him now. And this is an awkward positional shot. That's beautifully played. What an area to finish. Great shot.
Three. Four.
His disappointment is not where the cue ball is finished, but the red going on top of the black a little. Well, of course the red by the black doesn't go, so he's played a pretty brave shot there to play on the bottom red, assuming that the black will then pot as well. That is tremendous.
10.
He had a problem there which he's overcome very quickly.
So it is entirely possible that Trump's failed black from point blank range could lose him the frame.
Or maybe not. Ronnie overscrewed.
70.
He's finding new problems in this break, which I don't think he felt were there. Now he's got one down the end, another recovery shot needed. It's all happening. There's not much that can stop him sometimes.
He seems to accept it very quickly when something's gone wrong. For him, it's the next shot, not the last shot, that's the important one.
And the blue is just a little bit thinner than he would have wanted for getting control for the next red. No, I think he played beyond those reds on the one to the left of the black,
21.
so it has to end soon. Well, he's playing the double. Goodness.
22.
I'm guessing that the break ends there. I think for most players it would have played.
Well, I don't know whether there was an element of frustration in that, or whether he was carrying out his intention that he expressed the other night to play as if it was an exhibition. Not hard enough for his intended position.
24.
It's about the third time he's played on that red in this break. He's
25.
usually got the cue ball on a very tight bit of string, about 6 inches long, but for this break he's been all over the shop actually. Again into the blue. Like one of the old
31.
breaks that sound like Perry Manns would have made back in the day. 40 or 50, played about 12 brilliant shots in it.
Perry Manns, being a South African left-hander, was pretty successful, got to a world final, but his cue ball control was a bit rudimentary.
Very well
38.
put, Clive. This is quite a remarkable break. He felt like it should have ended a long time ago, but it's still going and he's back in. Almost refuses to
39.
accept that this break is going to end anytime soon.
Well, the cross double was a particularly daring shot. Brilliantly played.
$45.
And he's thinking about those two reds. The left-hand one will it's puttable to the left middle. He feels that's the way to go.
46.
I'm surprised he hasn't even looked at it yet. Now he's having a look. Always felt that was the way he was going to go. It's very much available, but he's gone fractionally too far once again.
53.
The next ready pots will be frame ball.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 53.
Played it in that manner so that he didn't leave the other red, and in fact the red that he attempted came back and knocked the other one. So Trump's failed black didn't quite cost him the frame. And this doesn't look cuttable either.
No, he has to play safe here, surely. I mean, he could, I guess, play the double if he wanted to the left middle, but I don't think he's going to do that. It's time for a sensible shot. Both reds on the cushion. Make Judd work at the clearance. And of course, if he could win this frame, Judd Trump, well, it would really hurt O'Sullivan.
Well, it came early in the frame, but Trump did have a very good chance. Where's it all going to finish? It finishes with a sitter for O'Sullivan.
Thank you.
I still maintain that 53 break of Ronnie O'Sullivan's is one of the most out of position breaks I've ever seen him make of any importance. Didn't win in the frame, but I don't know how he kept it going. Eventually, though, he got his rewards. Yeah, in for a very interesting conclusion to this match.
I think that break did show O'Sullivan's fighting spirit.
5. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 5.
Not quite over the line, although he leads by 41 with only 35 on.
I mean, usually you'd leave this red on the table, but it's not so easy to do anything but pot it with the black. And now he needs 2 snookers. If he could get down to pink and black, it'd be 1 to tie, but I don't see him doing that. I think he'll try here to get one of the 2.
8.
Screw the cue ball somewhere in behind the blue, perhaps.
Judd Trump, 8.
Yeah, that'll certainly do.
Sorry, Neil, I was just saying, preferred to try to line the balls up down the middle of the table.
Yeah, I mean, Ronnie's worried about 2 things here if he misses it. First of all, hitting the pink or the black, and if that doesn't happen and he misses, he doesn't want to leave a free ball. The answer is to hit it and be done with it.
Foul.
He's in another
Judd Trump,
snooker, I
4.
suspect here. This is a... The alarm bells might be ringing for O'Sullivan. This frame is not over now.
Safely out of that snooker.
Yes, but also where green and brown are, huge target to playing behind. That'll interest Trump. Good effort, unlucky.
That clinches it surely for O'Sullivan. It puts Trump back to 2 snookers needed. So a very eventful frame. Trump missed a simple black very early
O'Sullivan
on.
5 on the frame.
O'Sullivan made a fighting 53 break and has gone on to take the frame and level the match at 4-all.
Thank you. Frame 9. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Level with 3 to play. No danger with the pack so tightly bunched.
Touch and ball.
Had to swerve slightly to get to the edge of the red, and that's why catching it just a fraction too thin, the cue ball has run on and left this long pot for Trump.
Yeah, a slight grimace there was because he's finished very straight on the black, which means it's very hard to find a way of getting another red after this. Oh, that's a great effort. And that right-hand red goes, a terrific shot.
8. No.
Well, from nowhere, he's created a chance.
Terrific cue power without any enormous effort.
12. $17. 18. $25. 26. 27.
I think Donald Humphries just asked for a little bit of time here to work out whether this pink actually respots. Not on his own spot, others not available. He's got to try and get it in line down the centre of the table, somewhere in there.
Well, it's not going to make any difference to Trump's next shot. And this is a very promising break, starting with a long straight red and continued
32.
with a deep screw from yellow.
He's going to need the black in play. Winning the frame with only the blue of the high
33.
value colours on is going to be very difficult.
$38. 39. 44. 45. 50.
And it certainly helped when he got the pink
51.
out into open play when he went into the bunch. As Clive said, it's a very good and promising break, the way that he's made these. Extremely dangerous player.
$57. 58.
O'Sullivan is not expecting Trump to break down before he's clinched the frame, but he's ready if he does.
$63. 64.
It's already snookers needed.
$70. 71.
Very good to see him playing well again. Had a bit of a slump in form either side of Christmas. Had that success in the European Masters. It was been about October. Nothing much since then, but here he is playing
77.
very well again. Seems to play well up here in
78.
Llandudno. Had lifted trophies here before, including this one last year.
$84. 85.
It's great to see Trump's talent blossom into full flower. When he's at his best, as he is tonight, I think,
91.
he's really something else.
92.
So quick, so deadly in his potting, so inventive in his shot selections.
'96. 98.
This for his second century of the evening.
101.
Twinned with the break of 109, which brought him to 3 all.
105. 110. 116. 123.
A sublime total clearance of 123 puts Judd Trump 1 up with 2 to play. He leads Ronnie O'Sullivan by 5 frames to 4. First to 6 wins. Trump leads 5-4. I think O'Sullivan was a little unlucky that the red flicked off another ball and finished so near the right corner.
Yes, it's still quite a thin one though. But obviously he's been potting everything tonight. And he'll take it on. Very thin snick. Oh, not that thin. He missed it altogether on the way up. Nice disappearing shot of sorts.
Ronnie
Red
O'Sullivan
and cue ball in.
Thank you. Quiet, please.
Well, Trump was relieved that the red went in as well as the cue ball. Otherwise, O'Sullivan would have had a very easy starter.
Ronnie looks to be going on the attack here. Oh, great shot. Very good gap that he found. He was attacking, but there was an element of the cue ball running up the table from it. And he refuses to rein himself in. He feels that if he's going to win this match, he's going to do it by matching Judd Trump in every department, I think.
I think O'Sullivan says to himself, what is the right shot? And regardless of the circumstances, he will play it. He won't back off.
That was a really good shot on the brown to finish there. He struggled with his cue ball control, but that was a wonderful positional shot. It was quite straight on the brown. Now he's looking at finishing just low on the bunch to take out that loose red and maybe go into them. And that is perfect once again. Well, we'll know a lot more about the
13.
outcome of this frame after this shot. He had the wrong side on it. Expected the cue ball to fizz up the table there with right hand screw reverse side, but it didn't.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 14.
No, he had left hand side on it, checked it back into the middle of the table. towards the bunch.
Now he's going to have to play shots like that, I think, to keep this man out. Pretty good weight on it. Now this could be a very thin edge of a red here. Good comeback. Well, many ways back to bolt. I think Ronnie's got his eye on a possible shot of swinging the cue ball right back round the table off a red near the right cushion, but it's very risky and he's unsure about it. This is a long time for Ronnie O'Sullivan to look at a shot. The top red of the three on the right, I think he could hit that half ball and come around the table, but it's not much fun. You don't know where that red and maybe one or two others are going to finish. He may get the cue ball back if he played it, but it's, as I say, a difficult one. What alternative does he have? A containing shot at this end of the table would be very difficult to cover all the reds.
So after a minute 50, he made his mind up. He went for the pot with a chance of coming out safe if it didn't go in.
Yeah, not the worst outcome, but there is a red. He might be able to pot. Cue ball up behind the yellow. It's actually a very good shot.
Because the black is the end ball to the left. With the half ball contact, just managed to avoid clipping the black.
Yes, but he's left it. All the good pots he's made in this match, and he misses one of those.
Did the thought go through Trump's mind, this is my chance? Did he rush it slightly? Yeah. Was his concentration not quite what it should have been?
Well, all of those things, I'm sure, but I still expected him to get it. I'm sure the neutral watching this doesn't want it to end, so Sullivan winning this frame and taking it to a decider would be just what the doctor ordered.
It really was a bad miss, though, from Trump at his latest visit to the table.
7. Eight.
I don't think O'Sullivan has ever relished a battle more than he does these days. He's always been a great player, and he's become an even greater competitor.
$14. 15.
'It's just chipping away in this break, but now that he's freed the pink spot, he could easily win the frame here. It's been hard work.
21.
A lot of thought has gone into this break, like so many tonight, actually.
22.
It's not been plain sailing. Hit that well.
28. 29.
Well, a good cannon. He did hit a red on the way through, so I'm not sure it's entirely
35.
how he played it, but he did deserve a bit of luck, I think.
$36.
Anyway, enough reds have been dislodged into possible positions for it to make it very likely that O'Sullivan is going to clinch the frame at this visit.
$41. 42.
'By potting the pink, O'Sullivan has left
48.
Trump needing 2 snookers to tie. So it's therefore not so terrible.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 48.
He's lost position.
Frame conceded. Frame Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Trump concedes, in fact. It's 5-all. It's going to be all on the 11th frame.
Okay, Ronnie. Thank you. The 11th and final frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
It's the decider. What a great night of snooker we've seen.
Yes, we've seen 3 centuries, 2 from Trump, and the highest of the tournament, 1-4-3 from O'Sullivan. But as well as they have played in patches, I've seen them both play better. But we've got to this point, and you're right, it's been a thoroughly entertaining evening.
Lots of drama.
Oh, that's what we love. That's what's made snooker great over all these years. Thrillers. Ronnie's got a difficult shot here. We got very close to it.
I don't think he'd have taken that on if he thought there was any viable alternative.
Yes, he's left the red, but getting onto a colour, he's got to work. Yes, well, strange shot. I guess rolling it in onto the black is not really his sort of a shot, but he felt that the value was there, getting the black into play. He looked a bit tentative, but I guess it was an attacking shot, which went wrong.
Trump missed the first chance in the penultimate frame and didn't get another. Is that going to be the case in this decider?
Now, one thing about O'Sullivan, bar that 1-4-3 break, he's struggled with his cue ball control all evening. He's overscrewed for the most part. He's done so again there. That is a brilliant shot, and the reason I say that is when you see the cue ball goes into the bunch and barely moves, it doesn't lose the cue ball to a side cushion. You see it again, look at the cue ball, stops in the middle of the table. Whether he's on one is another matter. In fact, he's on a very difficult little plant here. Yeah. It's never going to be an easy shot. He's not only left-handed, but the gap between the reds was pretty wide. He was unlucky to be faced with nothing easier than that.
He leaves Trump the easiest of starters, but pink and black are both in unpromising positions.
There's nerves on both sides, you feel here.
Six.
Now the thing about this is he didn't play on the black, but it might just go. I don't know whether it actually passes the red. Well, I think it does go. Has he looked at it yet? I wouldn't, not saying for 1 second it's easy. It could be a match winner though.
He wanted to be on blue to middle.
You know, he's just found it. I think that's on. He stumbled upon it though, hasn't he? That's the other thing, not that that matters. He's going for safety. I can't blame him. As a left-hander, I thought he might be interested in it. I can see why he wouldn't be.
Yellow ball. Judge Trump, 7.
This is the ultimate in containing shots. Just dropping onto that red, I think that's fair. In this situation, you do whatever you can just to keep a very dangerous opponent out. But one more shot. What it does mean is that Trump's got the slight edge because he could get O'Sullivan in more trouble here again. Doesn't seem to have looked at playing off the bunch of reds, even though they're quite well scattered in behind the yellow yet. That's to be in his plans. I think the shot is on.
Well, it was difficult, but it was a possible, and he would have had black to middle had it gone in.
Yeah, he didn't get all that close to the pot, but I can see why he would try and take the positive step. The last two shots Ronnie's played here was as negative as I've ever seen, but under the circumstances, he didn't have a great deal else that he could do. He's not really into the tip-tapping about, but got to keep this man out. It's amazing how the complexion of a match or a frame changes when we get down to the fact when it's sudden death. We see stuff like this. It's not impossible. We could get a re-rack, which you wouldn't have believed with these two. Can't see what shot either player can risk. Those two air shots, but in snooker it doesn't count, and we're having a re-rack.
Re-rack.
Yes, I could see no hope of quick progress there, so he didn't take re-racked and restarted.
Well, didn't really see that coming. It's been a terrific match though. As I said earlier, I've seen both play better. They're both absolutely brilliant when they're in full cry, but we've seen 3 centuries, 2 from Judd, that 1-4-3 from O'Sullivan, the highest of the tournament, and you really could not choose a winner here. We saw how tense it was, that last frame ended in a stalemate, something that you would lay long odds against with these two in action. So we do it all again.
O'Sullivan, of course, hoping to clear this semi-final hurdle and defeat either Mark Williams or Sean Murphy for the title on Sunday, which would be his 5th ranking title of the season and his 33rd in all, chasing Stephen Hendry's record of 36.
11th final frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Figure of 8 safety from Trump, getting the cue ball over the awkward side of the table.
It's not an easy safety shot at all. I think whichever way he plays it, unless he gets tight, and then he's going to leave some sort of an option, potting option. Playing the shot to nothing red here, I think. No, he's playing just to contain, and as I say, that's been the order of the last 6 or 7 shots from O'Sullivan.
And those length of the table slow safety shots have proved a testament to the true running of the table. At that speed, cue ball has every chance to run off, but all that type of shot that have been played this week, none have. Yes, could go for that without any fear of cannoning another ball.
Yes, it was a real shot to nothing. Of course, when it goes in, it offers other options, but here he's tickling in behind the brown. So advantage Trump.
Trump, 1.
Amazing that this match has turned tactical, having been all-out attack for the first 9.5 frames or so.
The pack is tightly bunched. The chances are that O'Sullivan won't leave anything from that escape.
Well, I think he has, and the problem was, Clive, the black was there, wasn't it? So he couldn't just drop into the main area of the bunch. And now he's left a red, albeit getting onto a colour's not easy. Well, this could be a really good shot.
1.
If he goes for the black here, he spreads the reds all over the table. Brilliant.
Eight.
Black on spot. Lots of potable reds. Match-winning chance for Trump.
Well, that's not a good shot.
Yeah.
Leapt up. As if, I don't know whether he got a
16.
bad contact. It didn't sound suspicious. See it again. I don't know. The cue ball just didn't come back as he thought, and he's now got a really difficult shot of this red. It cuts in, the cue ball is not guaranteed to get onto a colour, and the pot is not hanging over the pocket either. So, see this slight worry coming. Would you believe it?
16.
One problem led to another there, Clive.
Well, it did. Trump couldn't have asked for a better match-winning chance than that. It went wrong very quickly.
Well, this is a real test of O'Sullivan's cueing. Put a slight angle on this to get in behind the black, to play it into the same pocket. Oh yes, delightful. It was a test. He passed with flying colours.
Great cueing, great nerve.
Yes, he probably felt a few shots ago that he might not leave that seat other than to shake hands with Judd Trump, because it was a golden chance. Quite amazing he broke down as early as he did, in the way that he did.
Trump also missed a golden chance early in the penultimate frame.
Nine.
Once again, Ronnie O'Sullivan's cue ball control is not as it usually is.
$16. $17.
Well, he couldn't ask for a better chance than this, and it was all because he cued in a beautiful long red.
$22. 23.
Check of the
30.
scores, plenty more needed, but maybe just sizing up which open reds he needs to take. Does he need to take anything that develops other reds? Those two reds close together at the
31.
moment are just about out of play. But right now, getting 40 or 50 would seem like an awful lot in the context of a match like this. You get to a decider, 50 breaks like a century break at times.
37.
I think one of the reds, the right red, I think goes to the right middle if he gets the cue ball in the perfect place.
$38.
Yes, and that's where he's at with this shot, because he's very straight on the black. You can't cannon them from there. Instead of playing on the other two reds, it's all about the percentages, I suppose.
45.
Again, looking at the scores, only 32 in front with still 67 available, so not home by any means.
46.
Two reds developed into much more favourable positions.
Yes, and that all means that this pink, if he plays it, is a very big shot. If he played the blue, the pot's easier, but position, that's quite difficult. So if he plays the pink, it's the biggest shot of the match so far. played it. He didn't just roll it in, he played it with authority. It's a tremendous shot.
52.
There's nothing wrong with O'Sullivan's bottle under pressure.
53.
Yes, and this pink and one more red, and he's won a match that I can honestly say many times during his career I think he would have lost. Playing like a man. He's won 4 ranking tournaments this season already, with power to add.
59. 60.
This match has shown modern snooker at its very finest. There have been 3 centuries, 2 by Trump, 1 by O'Sullivan. Great break making, great shot making.
67.
The most subtle of tactical play at times. High drama.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 67.
And it has all ended, barring something truly remarkable, in a 6-5 win for O'Sullivan. Trump will know that he's had match-winning chances, one in the penultimate frame at the start of it, when the balls were well spread. And also early in this frame. But he just wasn't able to seize the golden moment. This is a very wide ball to hit, this red near the yellow pocket. There's no room round it, so it'll be amazing if O'Sullivan concedes any penalty points here. Trump fights on, but
What?
I think we can only say of him, tell me how long the train's been gone.
Eight. Good Trump, 8.
.46 the difference, only 35 remaining. And it needs to be a very good snooker to force O'Sullivan to concede the necessary penalty points. O'Sullivan is the current people's favourite. Maybe that status will pass to Trump. I don't think O'Sullivan would mind if it did. But for the moment, O'Sullivan remains the man. Trump must be awfully disappointed. It did look this week that he'd regained top form after a rocky patch,
Ronnie O'Sullivan won.
but he hasn't been able to turn it into a win he desperately wanted. Ronnie O'Sullivan beats Judd Trump by 6 frames to 5, and he goes through to Sunday's final.
Well, a match that as snooker fans we didn't really want to see end, but end it has with Ronnie O'Sullivan, who'll star in Sunday's Players' Championship final. Congratulations. This one had top billing and it certainly delivered. It was a cracking match. What was it like to play in?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's always exciting when you play Judd, because you never know, you know, he can either pop them off the lampshades or make a mistake and let you in. So you can... He's a special talent, you know, a special player, and he's always difficult to play. And, you know, with his talent, he should be winning more. And when I retire, I'd love to help him and try and make him win more, because he's a good... you know, I practice with him a lot, and, you know... he's fantastic to watch. As another snooker player watching him, he plays shots that nobody else can play, you know. So if you just tied up a few little areas, he could be just unplayable, really.
He's a prodigious talent, no doubt about it, and he went into a stonking lead, you know, 2 frames. We've seen you the same thing happened to you last night against Sting. In fact, 3 times tonight you came from behind. Just showed you really wanted this tonight.
Yeah, you know, I was really, you know, you're always up for it, you know, when you play Judd. Semi-finals, always a tough match, but... You know, I was pleased to get through it. And, you know, in the last there, when he was potted the black to go in the reds, I thought, oh, here we go, it's game over. And then he's got a kick, and then I thought, oh, I've got half a little chance. And he's hit it, and then the white's going in the middle. I think, oh, hello.
Let's have a look at the deciding frame then.
Yeah, the key moment, as Ronnie's saying, the little kick in it. He's trying to bring it back about 18 inches. It went back about 6 inches, didn't it? And then we didn't see the end off, but this was nice. It must have felt good, that.
Yeah, no, it felt great. I mean, I hit that one really, really good. So. Yeah, I was just over the moon, you know, with that one.
You changed the sort of the way you positioned the cue ball a couple of times, so I suppose you could put less power into it and glide it in.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
You know, I thought a couple of times you struggled with the cue ball, you know, tonight. I have to say that, but, you know, even in the last frame, you're fighting for it. It's most unlike you, but you kept pointing your way out of trouble. That was a brilliant shot.
Yeah, you know, I had to play it at the right speed and, you know, to pot the ball. You know, if I'd have bailed out on the blue or got a bit twitchy on the pink.
Something you believe in under pressure, hit the ball a bit harder, isn't it? Punchy.
Yeah, just play the right shot. You know, I always think punching balls in is better than rolling balls in, you know. You can get a kick otherwise, so there's a bit of pressure on me here, because if I equal win 5 ranking events, my sponsors, BetChris, have offered me a big prize, a big gift. So
there we go.
Yeah, so I'm getting a bit twitchy, you know. If I win one of the last 3 tournaments, it's like... you know, it's a big bonus that they've offered me, and a big nice car. Wow. So I'm feeling the pressure out there.
Listen, talking about a big bonus and the big pressure, in the 4th frame, we thought you might be on a 147.
Was I? I don't even remember. I mean...
You played on the blue, and, well, you know, look, I think I've seen you play on the black on a situation like that before. Yeah, you made 143. I know that might win you $5,000 anyway, the highest break prize, but you won reds and... You don't know you won reds and blacks?
Yeah, I know it was on reds and blacks, but, you know, I wasn't flying, and, you know, I just thought, you know, you just got to play the right shot, you know, and...
Sends a message when you do play on the blue there that the match means a lot to you, I think. That's one message it sends to Judd, I think.
Yeah, you've got to respect the balls, you respect, you know, always respect the game itself, you know, you've got to play the right shot, otherwise, you know, I would have probably got, you know, I could have won that frame, took liberties, but then it can punish you later on in the match. You just got to keep playing the right shots, and then a bit of luck comes your way, you know.
Let's see some of the shots that you did play then, because you know, as usual, when Ronnie's playing, we're kind of spoiled for choice.
This was actually similar to the red in the last frame, actually. This kind of got you going before the break at 2-0 down.
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking for something, you know, first couple of frames, you know, nothing was going right, and that's been pretty much the pattern of every match this tournament.
You usually sort of get into your stride quick and find the pace, don't you?
But I haven't really practiced for 2 months, so I'm sort of like, I'm lacking that sort of... I'm out, the block's a bit slow, but once I get warmed up, I'm okay, but I've been having a good time, and I'd rather be not practicing as much, enjoying my life, than playing 4 or 5
This was the maximum here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously got an angle on that.
Yeah, it was on, but, you know, right shot's the blue in it, you know, and the red ball covering
if you play on blue.
Yeah, you've got to play the right shot, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, then, you know, getting into this frame, I felt you were finding your stride there, you know. It looked like that, and I think they're just starting to crank it up a little bit, you know.
Yeah, well, it showed that little black, because you'd missed one before like that, wasn't it, earlier on, you'll remember. And this was important, you hit this, because it was at one snooker still, so
yeah,
with the green and brown are, he's
Judd,
got to hit that and sort of kill the frame. And
Judd's good with his angles and punt, you know, getting good whites and all that, so you're never safe, you know.
and it's probably nice to see this yellow disappear and then a nice green into the same pocket in it.
I've just been trying to hit middle of the white because I've been playing so bad in practice and stuff that I've not felt like playing, and I thought, oh, come on, just try and hit middle of the white. And 3 days before I come here, I was just hitting middle of the white, and I was like missing everything. And after 2 or 3 days, like the mind adjusted, and you know, I was hitting it all right. So I've come in here this week feeling like I'm hitting it okay, but I always put side on, you know, and sometimes when you're not timing it great, it can go all over the gaff. So just trying to sort of, you know, work on a couple of little bits when I am playing, you know.
Do you tend to play with a trace aside, or?
I never know that I'm playing with side until I sort of like think, well, let's get a bit more over to the right. And then when I'm getting over to the right, I feel like I'm really putting check side on it. And I think, oh, that can't be right, but it feels right and it sounds right. So I think it's got to be right. Yeah. I've just got to kind of let the body and the mind catch up. It takes 2 or 3 days, you know, before a change can sort of become grooved in, you know.
So you're up against either Mark Williams or Sean Murphy in the final on Sunday. We'll find out tomorrow who that might be. And then up for potentially a spring double on ITV with the two tournaments.
Yeah, it should have been a treble, wouldn't it? I should be going for the treble. I was a bit unlucky at it.
Yeah. Very close to the champions.
Yeah, no, listen, I'm just happy. I mean, I just go out there and I just try and just enjoy it and just flow, and you know, I try not to be out there too long. Do you know what I mean? I want a quick pace, get on with the game, whether I win or lose. You know, I don't want a slow death. I'd rather have a quick death or a quick win, and you know, save yourself. You know, there's a lot of matches, a lot of tournaments, so you don't want to expend too much energy out there. You know.
Well, it was a great win tonight, Ronnie. Thanks very much indeed. Look forward to seeing you on Sunday.
Drop, we're still kind of the same as what the new level are of coming through, you know. So I think that has a lot to do with it. But like Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic in the tennis, you know, even though they're getting on and you know they're giving up, you know, what they give up in age, they make up for in skill and nous and just being probably a higher level of player. But I also think it's important at my age and that you just to pace yourself. I think a lot of the players are burnt out. You can see it, you know, and it's difficult when you're going in every tournament and you're travelling so much, and even if you're getting results it's tough, and if you're not getting results it's even tougher, because all you do is go back home and go back in a room and try and hit balls and try and get it right, and if you're not getting the results, you know, it can chip away at you, you know, you're only human. So I think for me it's just about, you know, just playing for fun now. It's a grueling tour, and it is just a numbers game, you know. There's, you know, they don't, you know, it doesn't, the way it seems is they don't really care if the top players are there or not. You know, it's sort of so there's no sort of, you know, you are just literally on the road 24/7, and eventually you're just going to die, you know, and you know, and just get in a coffin, and then they'll just bring another player in. And I don't want to be one of them, you know. For me, it's about my lifestyle must come first, and you know, I try and get away with as little as I can practice, just to give myself an opportunity, and hopefully I build some rhythm up and I can get a few results. But otherwise, you know, I just have so much fun off the table that, you know, this is just a hobby, whereas a lot of the other players, you know, it's tough for them.
And that's enabling you to keep hungry and wanting it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's tough, you know. I don't enjoy the lifestyle of a snooker player. Probably most players say the same thing, you know. It's tough just going in a room and hitting balls. So, you know, I try to, you know, probably devote 20-30% of my time to snooker, and the rest just to hanging out with my partner and my friends and my family, and going to the gym and relaxing and, you know, cooking and doing all that sort of stuff, because that's the things I love to do, you know. If I can't start enjoying my life at 42, then what's the point of doing it?
Seems to be in a good place, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Interesting to hear him compare himself to, you know, Federer, Nadal, Djokovic. When he plays in his pomp, there is no better sportsman in any sport. You know, he's a genius at what he does, isn't he?
I've believed that for going on a decade now, that I believe he's the most gifted sportsman alive today, and I include you know, just everyone in that. He's that good. We've seen some matches this week with guys going off the boil and how difficult this game can be. He makes it look preposterously easy, and he'll probably do it again tonight. He's that good.
And one of the things he talked about there was pacing himself and choosing his tournaments, because, you know, I think on the tour now, as Alan knows, there's a lot of travel involved, there's an awful lot of tournaments, but he seems to have worked out a way of coming good at the right times and finding his best route to success.
Yeah, and interesting what he's saying about players being burnt out, because I can see what he means, actually. There are a few players, you know, without getting into names, that just look as if they are, you know, a part of the grind, a part of playing in tournaments and doing well in them without looking like lifting trophies. Ronnie has got it sorted. 20-30% of his time devoted to snooker, he said. But he's really devoting all of that time to the game. And deep down, there's still this burning desire to win. And whatever was wrong before, in other words, the mental state sometimes that he was in, it's all coming together, and it's a wonderful sight.
But of course, he has the luxury of being able to pick and choose because of the success he's had and because of the talent he has.
Yeah, I think the structure of the tour is that way now. It's getting that way with 20-odd events where they can pick and choose. You've still got probably 14 or 15 big money events. Ronnie, being Ronnie, is going to win probably 2 or 3 of them, and if that's level par. So that gives him the luxury of picking and choosing, and it helps him and the Higginses and the other guys that we've spoken about to be fresh when they do come in.
His route to the semi-final saw him beat Graham Dott 6-1. He beat Ding Junhui 6-3. Yeah. He's played some lovely snooker. You know, we've seen the sort of exhibition-style, exuberant Ronnie, and we've seen the more tactical, savvy Ronnie, haven't we? Yeah,
and I think sometimes, you know, I mean, this was against Graham Dott, and it was a brilliant pot, but that was a match where he tied Dotty up in all kinds of knots, really. But then, of course, we saw the other side of him where he's making up shots that are making Alice nearly fall off his chair in the commentary box, you know, and rightly so, because, you know, he's never played snooker in any way but an exciting, exhilarating way. That will never change. He's never going to be win boringly. It's not his style.
Yeah, it was interesting against Ding. He sort of went into exhibition mode, didn't he? I don't think he'll do that tonight because he's got a big job in his hands to keep the reins on Judd, so he's going to have to, you know, sort of play a tighter kind of game. We know about his cue ball. Be interesting to see his shot selection tonight against Judd. Well,
somebody who fancies himself against Ronnie would be Judd Trump. He says it's his time to shine. He's the underdog. He's coming under the radar a little bit, but he's looked impressive this week, hasn't he?
Yeah, and it's, you know, when we come to look at it even more closely, head-to-heads are very good. I mean, in this tournament 12 months ago at this venue, he beat Ronnie. He's taken a couple of hidings since, I have to say. But, you know, he's a great player and someone that Ronnie O'Sullivan respects, bordering on fears, if he does have any fears of players. He knows that Judd can do things that even he can't do, you know, keep potting ridiculously good balls, whereas, you know, his cue ball is not under quite the same control. But if he's right, and there are signs that he's coming back to his best, he's very much in with a chance, and we're going to see a great match.
Yeah, and this is actually their 10th meeting in a semi-final or final tonight. They've played 6 finals before, and it's 3 each, so that tells me that when the real spotlight's on, you know, I mean, obviously the spotlight's on both of them all the time, but in finals and big matches, I think Judd's at least on par with. I think Judd's going to win tonight. I've got a feeling he's playing that good and he's that confident, and I think he can upset O'Sullivan mentally a little.
Let's see how he played against Neil Robertson. A very impressive victory for him the afternoon.
Yeah, Jelly plays a lot of funky shots, I call them, you know, unconventional shots where, as I say, you can upset opponents. I mean, Ronnie likes to be doing this kind of thing, dominating the table and table time, but Judd can sort of get you unnerved in some ways. He's look at Neil round there, having a look at Judd playing that blue. You know, he knocks in those awkward balls with great ease.
You can actually be on the edge of your seat playing Judd, I would think, because you think it's your shot in a minute, and then you realise he knocks in another one, and you keep thinking he's on the table soon, and it doesn't always happen.
Both these players can rack up breaks very, very quickly. Does he have the same cue ball control that Ronnie has? No,
there's no doubt that O'Sullivan, he's probably out on his own. I mean, Ding's a close one, and John Higgins as well. But his control, due to probably his superior technique to Judd. Judd's got a sort of his bridge hand's in a bit closer to the cue ball, but he's got more power, but that kind of equates to less control. Ronnie's more loose and languid and beautiful touch.
Everybody's always asking who the natural heir is to Ronnie O'Sullivan. I think Ronnie just could carry on. He's quite happy. I don't think he's looking for an heir, but is Judd that natural successor?
Well, I'll ask the question tonight and we'll find out. Ronnie O'Sullivan's game is still evolving. Is Judd Trump's game evolving? Is he a better player than he was 2 or 3 years ago? I'm not sure. And if he's not, he won't win tonight.
He's not as good a player as Ronnie, we know that, but as I say, I just think there's something in him this week. He enjoyed Llandudno last year. I think he looks very relaxed, and I think he fancies it more importantly.
You think he's going to win tonight? Who do you think is going to win?
I think Ronnie will win.
All right then, we're 50